So as we enter the knockout stages of Euro 2024, I want to take a little look back at match number 3 and rank each and every one of the countries' performances as they exited the group stage. Were they great? Were they terrible? We're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another power ranking video. Today, we're going to rank each and every one of the countries from Euro 2024 for their performances last time around, of course. I know we saw some great performances that might not necessarily have got you qualified, but we're going to grade them from A all the way through to F. We'll get to that in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. And if you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for Euro 2024 is right here under One Ruski. Of course, the knockout stages is underway or very close to getting underway. We've done our video on that. That's a separate beast to this. This is ranking the performances, and we're going to do it right here, right now. But before that, 50 likes if you can. That'd be absolutely fantastic. So let's take a look at it then. Here we are, of course, ranking them from A for amazing, B for pretty good, C a bit average, D woeful, F forget about it. That's right. We're going to come at you. I'm going to start with Group A. I'm going to start with the hosts, Germany. They may have qualified, but they actually whimpered a little bit. Of course, they secured qualification a long time ago, but the small matter of securing top spot was on the line. Actually, technically now, when you look at it, top spot is not really great because it's put them in the difficult side of the bracket. But I'm going to grade them as a C for their performance against the Swiss. Not great. Now, this is not for the tournament overall. I think Germany would probably be ranked A as one of the better teams in the tournament. But the Swiss caused them problems, maybe showed some vulnerabilities, weaknesses. So we're going to put them in the C. Meanwhile, their opposition that day, the Swiss, we're going to put them in as high as B. They are going to be problematic for that other end of the bracket. A lot of people say it's the weaker end of the bracket, but I think it's the more hungry, the teams that have shown more passion for the badge, for the competition. So the likes of the Swiss, the Austrians, Romanians, they might not be the bigger spectrum of the teams here, but They seem to want it more, and the Swiss with a B great performance. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the other game. We're going to go with Scotland. Where are you? So close, and I think they were a couple of minutes away from. I think if they held off for that 0-0 draw against Hungary, they may, with their points haul, had enough. Probably not. But anyway, of course, they did ultimately screw it up a little bit, didn't they, with the loss against Hungary. It is an F-grade performance, to be fair. No real goal threat throughout the tournament. It's something they need to rectify, and fast. As for their opposition, Hungary, I'm actually going to put them at a B grade level for their performance. They did compete to the final whistle, gave it a all. They even won the game, but ultimately that performance, gave them a little hope, but just a little shy in regards to, the third place teams. So unfortunately, Hungary go home, but the performance was that good. Meanwhile, the Spanish kind of whimpered a little bit. They did beat Albania 1-0, but again, not great. I'm going to put them as a C grade. They blew teams out of the water so far, Italy, Croatia, and then they whimpered to a measly 1-0 win over Albania. And as for the Albanians, again, hard done by, but we're going to have to say goodbye to them. But I'm going to give them a D grade performance for that final result. They couldn't really get anything out of it, but we'll see. Let's kick it on further, though. The Italians, they, of course, last chance saloon, equalizer. Everything's on the line here. As defending champions, a lot of pressure on the shoulders. And we haven't seen the best of Italy at all in this competition. And that was on display here. I'm going to give them a B grade because of the scenario that they were in. They had to, a lot of pressure on the shoulders as champions and as a heavyweight. They got to get through. So they kind of raised their game. And again, just like Hungary, showed that never say die attitude and gave it a B grade performance. As for Croatia, they were I think they were probably the best side on the day on that one, but I'm going to give them a C grade. It was always going to be a difficult group to get out of, and ultimately they lost concentration right at the end. So I'm going to give them a C grade for their efforts in the match day number 3. Let's take a look then at Group C and England. What can we say about England? Very, very dire in the last game. In fact, they've been very dire this whole tournament. But they got the result, the top of the group. That's fine. But performance, we're talking about power rankings, performance. When you go into this and you look at the bracket and everything, yeah, England's got a nice favourable bracket. But performance-wise, they've not really showed up here. A lot of the heavyweights have not showed up. And that third match against Slovenia was also very, very miserable. I'm going to put them down into D for their performance. They did get a result. They didn't lose. They didn't concede, which is fine. But with the tools on offer, they should be competing and the same. And get a decent result on the end. Meanwhile, us at opposition, Slovenia gave them no hope. Of course, qualifying for this competition at all. I thought they were going to go home. And I think I'm going to put them up as high as A for their performance in the match last week. Of course, did not lose to England. There was some opportunities where they thought they might even win it. So kudos for them, grinding it out, got a performance, and away they go. The Danes, on the flip side, also got themselves a draw against Serbia, but I do expect much more from the Danes on this one. I'm also going to put them alongside England in a D grade performance, but the Serbians also not great. Going to put them down there at F. So not great. In fact, that Group C was a write-off. Forget about it. Men in Black, my ass. I can't remember. Just make me forget it. Let's take a look then over at Group D, and of course the heavyweights, La France. Again, they could only draw against Poland, who were already eliminated. Bit of embarrassment, really. I'm going to give them a D grade performance for that. As for the Poles, already eliminated. Kudos for them to making it count. I'm going to give them a B grade performance for their efforts against the France. A little bit hard done by in the end, but we say goodbye to Poland, who, of course, really stepped up their efforts. Same group. Wow, what can we say about the Austrians? They are the team to avoid right now. Fantastic win over the Dutch, not only to get the win, but to top the group. Fantastic. The Dutch gave a bit of fight, a bit of comeback in that. But ultimately, you know, I'm expecting more from the Dutch. Put them down in a D here as they whimper. They whimpered over the line, third place finish. Really haven't not got their act together. Not really started this tournament on the right foot. But they are, of course, on the weaker side of the bracket alongside Austria in the end. Let's hop on over to Group E, which was madhouse. All ended all square on the final days. Belgium, again, not really delivering. I'm going to put them down there alongside Scotland and Serbia. Group F, boos around the place as Belgium really have disappointed in this tournament, which were expected to be so good, been pretty woeful at the time of asking. The Ukraine gave them a game. I'm going to put them up as high as C for that performance, causing Belgium's not heartbreak, but frustration. And again, Ukraine, a little bit hard done by, considering I think they all ended up on the same points. The Romanians did decent, coming back into the game against the Slovakian side. I'm going to put them at around about a C grade for their performance. I think Slovakia, the same. I can't really separate the two sides. I think they were a little bit down the middle on that last performance, but hey, they're still in it. They're still both here, and they've got well, at least Romania got an okay side of the bracket. Slovakia have got a tasty match in the last 16 to look forward to. And then into the final group. Well, we're going to take a bow, and we should do a round of applause, really, just like this. Round of applause for bloody Georgia. Not the state, the country. Top level performance, A-grade performance. Not only did they get something out of the game against Portugal, they beat them. And not only by 1-0, they beat them 2-0. Absolutely fantastic. I did not expect anything from Georgia. And not only that, and I'm out there. The guys out there, the rest of the pundits, the predictors, the whatever, wrote off Georgia. I did as well. But publicly, before this game, they didn't even put them into consideration to get qualified out of this group. They already wrote them off. It's quite shambolic. Really. You should never write anybody off until it's mathematically impossible. There was always a hope that Georgia could do something. Again, I didn't see it. I didn't expect it. I thought they would lose. And I think 99.9% of the people making predictions out there expected a defeat for Georgia. But guess what? Amazing. Portugal, oh my days. Down there you go. Group into F. An F grade performance. That was woeful. Absolutely shambolic. Meanwhile, Turkey, I'm going to put them up as high as B as well. They did great. Good result against Czechia. There might have been a bit of a threat there. It was made easier, though, with the Czechs losing a man. But I'm going to put them into the C grade. They did give a bit of fight. They fought back a little bit, even leveled the game at one point. But Turkey holding out for the 2-1 win to get them through as runners-up in Group F. These are your power rankings for match day number 3, guys. We're going to take a little look. Maybe should we do one? No, we'll do one at the end of the tournament for everything's performance-wise the grand scheme of things. Because right now, you would think Georgia getting into last 16 would be an A-grade thing for the tournament. No matter what happens now, who gives a shit? They've made it to the last 16. Nobody would have thunk it. Of course, they're expected to have a tricky game in the last 16 against Spain, but we'll, of course, look at that whenever we come to it. That's it, guys. My power rankings for group match number 3. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. But, of course, we look forward to seeing the round of 16. Well, we'll lose 8 of these nations. And, of course, we'll spice up the quarterfinals. But that is it. Until then, I'll see you soon for the next one.